Hey, welcome to the Sanders Kitchen. I'm Mike. Today we have a recipe that's gonna just thrill you. I'm laughing because let me tell you, I'm gonna be making biscuits this morning. You guys are gonna love this. I did a little research and some testing, and I did come up with a really good recipe for you. But you wanna know the truth of the matter. The best recipe I think I found, and the easiest, is right there, right on the side of the bag. I mean, come on. You know, after all that research, and I said, wait a minute, there's a biscuit recipe right here. So we're gonna be using that recipe, but with a little twist, okay? So let me show you what the ingredients are. The first thing you need to know is look at the expiration date on your bag of flour. Don't use it if it's 2 or 3 years old. I mean, it's not gonna kill you. It's just not gonna rise. So, you know, if you wanna use it, and let me tell you, I'm talking from experience, I used baking powder. It did rise, but only a little bit. The flavor was there, they looked okay, but they just weren't the big, plumpy, pretty biscuits that I was hoping for. And when I looked at the bag, I said, wait a minute, man, we got old flour here, okay? So we have a fresh bag of flour that we're gonna use. It's self-rising, but we are going to add a few additional ingredients. Not that many, because there's not that many ingredients here. But before we go to the ingredient list, let me go ahead and say that as always, the ingredients and the instructions will be in the description below the video. So now let's show you what's in the ingredients and a few tools that we're going to use. The first thing you'll need is some baking powder. We make our own baking powder out of 2 parts of cream of tartar and 1 part baking soda. So that would be basically 2 tablespoons of cream of tartar and 1 tablespoon of baking soda. But that's not all of what's going in the recipe. We just made our own baking powder. I want to be specific about that because don't put all of that in your biscuits, okay? And because we're only going to use a tablespoon of that. We have some Himalayan pink salt, some sugar, we have some buttermilk, some shortening. Now butter here is for wiping, you know, for glazing the top of the biscuits. You're gonna need a few tools. You're gonna need a big mixing bowl, a whisk, measuring cup. You're gonna need the cutter, spatula, a big spoon, and a 2.5 inch biscuit cutter. One of the things that I did find in my experimentation is preheating the baking pan works, okay? So you don't have to if you don't want to. I'm sure 1 million people out there, maybe a zillion people have done it, you know, with cold baking pans. I find that the warm baking pan helps these babies to rise, and hey, try it for yourself. So let's go ahead and get started. The first thing we're gonna do is mix our dry ingredients. So here we go. We need 2 cups of flour. So I like to pull my flour out and just shake it in. And I'm using it, I'm putting my measuring cup in the bowl because you know I'm gonna make a mess. So I need 2 cups of flour. Here we go. And that's about it right there. 2 cups of flour. We'll add that to our mixing bowl. And we'll add in our salt, our sugar, a tablespoon of baking powder, that. Going to whisk it around. The next thing, you're going to need a paper towel if you get your fingers all full of this stuff. But this is the shortening. So we're gonna put the shortening in. This is 6 tablespoons. And you know it's not going to all come off unless you stick your finger in it like that. And there it is. I'm telling you, you got to get dirty when you do this, right? Okay, let's start cutting this in. So just go ahead and start cutting. Push it down over the shortening. You'll probably need to push it out. Okay, like that. The cutting is done. We'll put the cutter aside and we'll add in our buttermilk. Now I'm only going to add in, I know it's going to take all of it, but I'll just add in about 2/3 of it for right now. And I'll start mixing. This stuff gets real sticky. Okay, while I'm mixing, I want to tell you that I did experiment with this where we cut in 6 tablespoons of butter, frozen butter. Now, while the biscuits did taste good, unfortunately, they didn't taste any better than the other biscuits that I had just put the butter on top of and used the shortening like I'm doing right now. But I'll tell you, you will love these biscuits. You're going to love these. If you love biscuits, you're going to love these biscuits. It's easy to do. These are easy, easy, easy. Okay, now let's move everything over to the side here because the next step is to take some flour. Now you want to be liberal with this. You want to put flour on your table, on your cutting board, whatever you're using. Okay, so this is real sticky stuff. The next step is to take some flour, put it in your hand, and get your hands full of flour. You've got to, because you're going to start pushing. Oh, and you do need to throw a little flour on top, like that, and you're just going to flatten this out. Now we're looking for about a 1/2 inch to 3/4 of an inch. So you want to fold this over. See how sticky this is? Just want to fold it over. There's no way you're going to do this if you don't have flour on your hands. And I know there's a lot of people out there saying, oh, I've made flour biscuits, for the last 35 years and I've never had to do any of that. Hey, guess what? I love these biscuits. They come out so good, it's amazing. Okay, so why are we folding? Because we're creating layers. That's what I'm doing. A little bit of flour here. And I think I'm going for my last little fold, and this is going to be it right here. Okay. All right. You can roll it out if you want, or you can flatten it like this with your hands. You could even get a ruler and measure it if you're a little bit unsure. Now remember, I said 1/2 inch to 3/4, fine. And here we go. Where's the cookie sheet? I'm fixing to go get it. It's 450 degrees. Here we go. Now I'm using a preheated cookie sheet along with a silicone mat in it. I find that it helps to get these babies to rise. Now, if you want to, you could stick that little cutter in your flour, and then your biscuit falls down and you can't get it. But the one thing you do want to do is, let's see if I can push this over so you can see. You want your biscuits to be next to each other. So put them right next to each other when you put them in the pan. Okay, what do you do with this other dough? Real simple. Fold it over, push it down, make it about a 1/2 inch to 3/4, and make you a couple more. So, the last thing to do, you guys, is to put this in the oven for 12 minutes or so until the tops are all browned. You can butter them right now. I choose to butter them later. They're gonna get brown, you'll see. See in about 12 minutes. Look how pretty these babies are already, huh? Whoo-hoo, man. 3, 2, 1. Okay. It's been 12 minutes. Look how beautiful they are. Boy, isn't that pretty? Look at the rise those things have. Whoo! So I'm going to use a little butter, and we're going to coat the tops of these things. So once the butter was applied to the top, we're just going to take them now and place them on this pretty little serving dish. Look how beautiful these things are. I'm just going to eat one just like it is. Man, look at these biscuits. Look how just tender. Oh, it smells so wonderful. Tender. Melt in your mouth. Tender. That's how good these are. Oh my goodness. Imagine how good this would be with some biscuit gravy. Boy, would this be good. Hope you like our homemade biscuit recipe. If you do, please give us a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel if you haven't, and hit the notification bell. That way, you'll be first to know when we come out with our new videos. Have a blessed day. As I always say, God bless you.